A filter function, one of the best functions that I have used in the world of data wrangling, data science, and analytics. We'll run you through the video as we go, but what I want to ask you is to code with me. Try to replicate what I'm doing. I will be providing multiple examples that really replicates real-world problems. I'm here to show you how to use the filter function by itself in the simplest form, and I will progressively lead you to use it with map function, the Lambda function, and hoping to really help some people out there who are struggling to use the filter function to its full capacity, if you like. Before I jump into this, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate you do that. 88% of the people watching my videos haven't subscribed, which is your call, but it really helps content creators like myself to get some YouTube algorithmic visibility, if you like. Before we jump into the filter function, I've left links to the map function and the Lambda function up the top right. They will appear sequentially, but also you can jump into the description. I would really encourage you to watch them before you watch this one. But assuming you have watched the two previous videos, let's get into this. All right, I've got a Jupyter notebook on the screen. What I will do, because I am on a Mac, I will hold the Command and B key to make that sidebar disappear. If you're on Windows, you can use Control and B key. So this is how it works, which is really cool. That gives me more space to show you the filter function. Let's call this the filter function in Python, which is one of the built-in functions. It comes with your Python installation. Let me just make that capital letter because I like to make it neat. Before we jump into the filter function, I encourage you to run this command. So filter ? It tells you how to use the function. So the word filter, you need to provide a function or none. If you don't have any functions, you're more than welcome not to provide it, but also an iterable. If you don't know what iterables are in Python, you can go to the video I made on the map function, and I ran you through the lists, dictionaries, sets, tuples, strings, and ranges at iterables. So let me just quickly list them here. You can use lists, you can use sets, dictionaries, you can use tuples, you can use strings, and the range. Let's make that a comment because that's not code. Iterable is anything that you can iterate over. So if I've got a list of numbers like this, I can say for x in numbers, print x. That's why we call it an iterable. I can iterate over it. I can read 1, then 2, then 3, and such and such. That's the meaning of iterable. Back to the construct of the filter. I told you the iterable, but I didn't really talk about the function and how it works. But we will get into that. The filter function returns an iterator. So it's not an iterable, it's an iterator. The return, I will talk about that shortly, yielding those items of iterable for which function is true. What does that really mean? It means that the filter function with this construct, which takes an function and an iterable, looks at the iterable, the first element in the iterable, and if this function is true, it returns it. If it is not true, it doesn't return it. You might ask, hey, Amir, it doesn't really make sense. Well, let me help you. If I open a new cell here and I say, the function I want to use in words is this an even number, right? As an imaginary function, I want to check and find the even numbers. The result will be this. So for the first one, is this an even number? The answer is false. Is this an even number? This is a true. The next one is a false. The next one is a true. And the next one is a false. So the result of filter function, if I use this func, right, on numbers, I should be hoping to get something like this, 2 and 4. What do we call functions that are either true or false? We call them predicates. So if I type the word here, the word predicate, it means that it checks whether it is true or false. I'm not going to really run this cell because there are a lot of things that will throw errors. So I have just converted it to Markdown. And I will quickly add the result, which should be 2 and 4, so that you can see. But now what I want to do is get my example number 1 up and running. So using a function to find even numbers. That's what I want to do. I will make this a Markdown, and I have a list of numbers already up here. Let me copy, and I want to use the filter function to find even numbers. What I need to do is to first construct my filter function. So I will need a function and an iterable, right? Let's make that a Markdown. Now that we know what the construct is, let's solve this in 2 different ways. One, without using the filter function, and 2, with using the filter function. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to call approach 1 without using the filter function, right? In approach number 1, I'm not going to use the filter function. I'm going to create my own function, which is a really longer way, but I want to show you how painful it will be. Let's use a for loop because we're dealing with iterables to iterate over number in numbers. And I can print, and you can see that it's an iterable, right? It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For me to be able to find the even numbers, I need to write an if statement. If statement will check if the remainder of division of the number by 2 equals 0. So if we divide the number by 2, the remainder will be 0. That's the condition that will tell you what is an even number. Then print the number. And you can see that it only prints number 2 and 4. But I was looking for a predicate. If you remember, predicate is a function that tells you true or false. So I'm going to say if remainder of number divided by 2 is 0, then I want you to print true, right? But if the remainder is not 0, I want you to print false. And you can see that I'm going the longer way. But there is a reason for it. Just bear with me. I've got false, true, and false. All I need to do now is to make a container, and every time put those true and falses into the container, if you like. So that's your approach 1. So now approach 2 would be using the filter function. So let's call that approach 2. Using the filter function. And we know that the construct for the filter function is to have a predicate and an iterable. Well, the iterable I already know. It's the numbers, right? I will be using the same list. So let's copy that and put it here so that you can see. So that's my iterable. But what function do I need to use to find even numbers? Well, I can use the Lambda function, and if you haven't seen my video on the Lambda function, the link is up the top right. It really helps you understand this bit. But what I will be doing, I'll be taking each member of this list. Here I call it X, you can call it item, you can call it watermelon, whatever you want to call it, I don't really care. I'm calling it X, and my question to this Lambda function will be, is the remainder of X divided by 2 0? So if X remainder division equals 0. If I run this, you will see that it's a filter object. So I can't really see the result unless I convert this to a list, because intrinsically, to save memory, the filter object gets saved, but the list object doesn't get saved. You can now see that I have filtered this only to even numbers, and that's what it looks like. I'll just put a print function for good practice. You don't have to use it, and you don't really have to do it, but I think it's good practice to do it this way. So example 1 was using a function to find even numbers. Now, example 2, I want to run you through example 2. Find positive numbers using filter. Let's say new numbers. Maybe I'll just call it temperature, right, in Celsius. I've got -20, I've got 76, which is really hot. Let's just make it 35. I've got -11, I've got -2, and I've got 0, and I've got 7 degrees centigrade. I want to now only find the temperatures that are positive. Nice and tidy. This was meant to be a markdown. Yep, that's better now. All I need to do now is to, again, understand the filter construct. So I need a predicate function and I need an iterable. The iterable here is the same list, so I will use the temperatures list. And the function I will need is, again, a lambda function. Maybe this time I will call it temp. I don't want to call it x, so that you understand you can use any name you want. And the temp has to be greater than 0. This is the function that does the filtering. If I run this, again, I will not see the results, because to save memory, Python saves this in a filter object. If you want to see it, sandwich it in a print function, which is not necessary, but the list is necessary. And you can see the results that only 35 and 7 are the positive numbers. All right, now that you're more comfortable with this, let me make this more advanced. What I could do here, exactly the same thing. What I could do here is copy and paste the same thing and call this function, right? Let me just copy, or maybe just cut that from there and call this is positive function. I am calling this lambda bit a function called is positive. Then I copy that and paste it here. If I run that, I will get exactly the same thing. I didn't really do magic. I just copied this bit into a new function and called that function into the filter function. You might ask, do we only do this with lists? Can I do it with tuples? Yes, of course you can do this with tuples. Let me copy that. I will change this to a tuple. Right? And I will change this to a tuple closing. And just remember that I am not going to be using lists. I could use lists, but I just want to show you tuples. And I can show that this 35 and 7 is now stored in a tuple. Any iterable works with filter. Example 3, using the filter function with strings. What I want to now show you is that we can use the filter function with strings, because strings are iterables. I have pasted some strings here, right? I want to find, imagine I have been employed to find any string that is not empty. So this one is hello, that's fine. This one is empty, this one is not, this one is empty, this one is not, and this one has got only one space. Let's think of the construct of the filter function again. So provide a predicate function and an iterable. I know what the iterable is. It's called strings here, so I'll copy that here and paste it here. Now I have to think about the function. What function do I really need? The way for me to find all these strings that are not empty is to get rid of any spaces. And after I get rid of any space, it shouldn't be empty, right? For example, this one, after I use the strip function on, it comes back with hello. So it's not empty. But if I copy this one, as you can tell, and paste it here, after I strip, it comes back to nothing. So I want to drop this, I want to drop this, and I want to drop this. I want to only see hello world Python. So how do I do that? Well, the function will be using the lambda function again on an item, if you like. And I will take the item and I will strip it first. That's step number 1. After I strip it, it should not equal to nothing. This is the condition that I need for me to be able to filter strings that after stripping of spaces will be nothing. So let me just move this to a better place, clean this one up. And this is not going to show unless I go print the list of filter. If I run that, now I've got hello, world, and Python, which is really powerful. I want to show you example number 4, showing only alphabetic strings. I have been given a list of strings, just like this. So I've got ABC, 1, 2, 3, hello, 1, 2, 3, and hello. And I want to filter this to the ones that are only alphabetic. So I want to get ABC. I'm not sure if I want to get that. And I only want to get hello. All I need to do now is to use the filter function. And I know that I'll be using a predicate function and an iterable. The iterable is called raw input. So let me copy and paste that here. And I know that eventually I'll have to print the list of this. So why not put the onion layers right now. The function I need, right, is to use the Lambda function on an item, and the item needs to be alphanumeric. Let's see if it works. Well, that was very easy. Now I can only see ABC and hello. So what I did, I used this method from the strings that checks, show me anything that is only alpha. So if I check this with is alpha, you will see that it returns a false. So that's not correct. So I won't see it. And my last example, a combination of the filter and the sorted function to sort some values. What I will be doing right now, I will call it example 5, combining the power of filter and sorted functions. I'll make it a markdown. I have a list of 3 dictionaries. So this is a list because I can see the square brackets, but each of these items is a dictionary, right? Imagine the task is find the adults and sort based on their age. That's the task. So let me just remind you of the construct of the filter function. So you will be using a predicate function and an iterable. We know what the iterable is. It's called people, but the function is a bit of a mixed bag. If I run this, I'll get an error. So let's make that a comment, and I will tell you what logic I will be using. For me to find adults only, what I will do is to use the filter function. I'll be using a function inside there, and I will apply that to the people. The function will be a lambda that takes one person and looks at that person's age. That's what the dictionary tells me. And if the age is greater than 18, it returns their names to me. All I need to do is to convert to a list. And once I do that, I should print adults only for you. I haven't run this one. Sorry, let me run that first. You will see that it only returns Alice, who is 25, and Charlie, who is 30. It hasn't returned Bob because Bob is only 17. So I've done the first bit. Now, after I've done that, I will need to sort based on their age. So if I use the sorted function, there is a full application of sorted function in my Lambda video. The link is up the top right. But all I need to do right now is to take an iterable, which is this one, adults only, and then a key. Because if you can remember from that video, the construct of the sorted function was use an iterable and use a key. That's what I've done. I've taken my iterable and now I am defining the key. So let's go to the key. The key is I will be using the Lambda function to take each item in this list of dictionaries. Each of them is an item. And for that items, did I say sort based on their age? Yes, based on their age, I will use that as a key. What I've received here is a sorted list of dictionaries based on their age. So Alice is 25, that's why I see Alice first, and Charlie is 30, that's why I see Charlie next. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, subscribe to my channel, like the videos, and share it with your friends. And stay tuned for more videos because I'm going to be running multiple different playlists on how to become a data scientist, AI engineer, ML ops, and ML engineer. Thank you.